Sup? What is going on, my party people? So in today's video, we're going to talk about my SHTF loadout. Now, loadout doesn't mean this. Loadout is essentially the things I might grab or things I might pack in my vehicle for when I'm going on an extended trip or whatever I might be doing. This is geared more towards the beginner, into the prepper sphere, to the prepared citizen type thing. It might not know what to go after, what to prepare for. Here's a good rule of thumb. Take the most likely scenario and go out from there. This whole gloom and doom prepper thing people like to talk about probably isn't going to happen. More than likely, you'll get stranded somewhere, run out of gas, car accident, some kind of civil unrest, and you should plan accordingly. So, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to go over is a hydration pack. Why is this important? Well, water. You can't go more than 3 or 4 days without it, so something like this is nice to have. It will definitely extend your lifetime a little bit out in the wilderness if you so do get lost and a vehicle breaks down, you're stranded, no help's coming, no cell phone service, whatever. You can hold out a little bit longer with something like this. So I like this one. It's got a lot of extra storage. It's got pockets, galore for extra maps, a power bank, all that stuff. A lot of storage. It's got molly. You can put on extra medical supplies, whatever you want to put on it through the molly webbing. You can even put an IR patch on the back, so if you're ever really lost, you have an IR patch and they're searching for you, it's going to reflect the IR. So there's that. The bladder is pretty cool too. As you can see, it's got a pretty big fill spout. It's about 100 milliliters, I think. I forget how big it was, but you put a good amount of water in here, it'll keep you sustained for a little while. Has the big spout, and if that one gets damaged, this bladder gets damaged, obviously you can drop in another one, no problems. So this is just a really useful piece of kit to have. It's cheap, and there's no reason not to have it. So, and something like this too. You can have this in your car, you can take this to work, you can walk around downtown with it, you can take it to the park. You can always have something like this on you, and really no one's going to bat an eye. It looks pretty, normal, and it's a really useful thing to have. So something like this is something you should really consider getting first in your initial preps if you're going to have some kind of bug out, or get home bag or whatever. Include a hydro pack. I don't attach it to my plate carrier, and when that topic comes up, we're going to talk about it. But definitely a water pack. A well broken in pair of boots is good to have as well. For good ankle support, good arch support if you have to walk a long distance or whatever. They're comfortable. These ones are, at least, they're so damn broken in. But these are getting towards the end of their life. They make good knocking around shit kicker boots. But a good pair of boots. Always nice to have. Next up on the list is a small pack. I got this pack at a place I used to work at. It was a gift. It's made by Glock, not sponsored by Glock. And I want to keep it that way. So, why is this pack important? This pack has a slot in it for a plate. You can put hard armor in here, soft armor, it doesn't matter. But it's got the plate capacity. This is my get home pack. I fill this with medical supplies, some snacks, more water, drinks, things to get me home. If I'm stuck out, like I said, my car breaks down or something, and I'm in bumfuck nowhere, I can fit stuff in here like snivel gear, blankets, just creature comforts to keep me sustained, warm and sustained. And if your state makes you carry your pistol in a holster, it has this built right into it. I can put my concealed carry in here, my Glock, and I can pull it off. It's velcroed in there, but this counts as a holster in my state. So I can do that and always be prepared. But something like this is, like I said, a get home bag. Fill it with things that you can use to get you home. Power banks, blankets, snivel gear, some extra snacks, and obviously your firearm, of course. Now the firearm could be for simple protection against wild animals if you're stuck out in the wilderness, or if you just get caught up in some bad business that you need to hopefully not have to discharge said firearm. But it's nice to have it. Have that little added security. You have some armor protection, because this does have, like I said, a slot for a plate, soft or hard. So a get home bag is definitely a piece of kit you need. What you put in there is up to you, but I recommend water, medical, and snivel gear for warmth. Because even though you live in a hot state, we get cold snaps. It's not always hot, and sometimes it can be pretty miserable and pretty uncomfortable, and even dangerous. You can freeze to death in a hot state on a cold night or a cold snap. So, something to consider. A get-home bag packed with some necessities and creature comforts. So, the plate carrier. This is how I have mine set up. It's very slick. It's very simple. I have a 6-cell magazine pouch for a rifle, and I have a 2-cell magazine pouch for pistol. I have the inverted flag because I'm that guy. I have my blood type and my drug allergy listed. No known drug allergy. And why do I have this written on there? Because if there's ever a time and place where I have to don this thing, there's a pretty high chance I'm going to get fucked up. And something like this is good knowledge for medical professionals to have, easily accessible. So there's that. Now, why do I think the plate carrier is the most useless piece of kit you can possibly have? Well, let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Why would you need something like this? I'm taking rounds. Great answer. Okay. Why and where are you taking these rounds? If you're in a situation where you need something like this, you're better off just noping out of there. Getting in your car, beating feet as fast as you can to get away. Now, why do I have 6 magazine cells on here? Well, the way I use this thing is, it's my what if. Okay? If I'm in a situation or near a place where there is a mass deletion happening or something, and my family or friends are caught up in it, I'm donning this and I'm going in. I'm not waiting for first responders. I've become the first responder. But you need to understand, when you do that and there's an incident going on, and you don this shit and you go in there and try to save the day, you are making yourself a target. When the police start getting calls about a incident and you're there and they see you, no matter, you might have the best intentions in the world, and I'm sure my fan base does, or my fan base, my viewers, I'm sure are great people. You all have, nothing but the best intentions in mind. I have no doubts in that. But you need to realize they don't know that, and you will be treated as such. So unless someone you know or care about or love is in jeopardy, you have no business doing a damn thing. And I wouldn't encourage you to do so. So there's that. But the 6 cells, 6 magazine pouches. SHTF happens at different stages. And if I'm ever far from home and I don't have the chance to resupply, having 6 magazines on deck is not so much of a bad thing to have. Now, maybe I'm also with friends or family that are also knowledgeable and aware. Maybe they weren't so prepared and they need, hey, can I get a magazine? Okay, here you go, fam, magazine. Now, 6 magazines is a lot. If you even go through one, you're probably in a place you really shouldn't be or don't need to be. And you should be focused on getting out of there rather than getting into a prolonged duel with long distance, high velocity hole punchers. So keep that in mind. Something like this is to sustain you, not to make this a thing. Because, guys, you're not operators, you're not on the teams, you're not doing direct action, and neither was I. I wasn't on the teams, I wasn't direct action, I was a pogue. I'm not afraid to admit it. But this is for sustainment. This is not for direct action. This is strictly defensive and sustainment. That is it. That's all it has to be. Now, why are my pouches and my like my water pack and things not attached to this? Because as you can see, it's a real slick carrier. Nothing on the back. The reason being is because that stuff works independent of this. I don't need to have a plate carrier on to use my hydro pack. I don't need to have a plate carrier on to use a get home bag. That's simple. Even my get home bag, if I need to put a plate in there, I can if I foresee something like that being an issue. So, there's definitely that. And the only thing I could really put on here would probably be an IFAK. I need to build another IFAK and put it on the cummerbund, but that's really it. This is not for direct action, guys, nor should you think it is or want it to be. We are prepared citizens, prepared for the worst, not hoping for it, but definitely ready for it. So, That's the plate carrier, guys. Really don't overthink this thing. Do not overthink it. Even this plate carrier is not even a good one. It's a Condor Mopac. I got it for what, 80 bucks at the PX when I was still in. And you can turn your nose up at it, but whatever. I'm not going through minefields and IEDs and stuff, so it doesn't really need to do that much for me. You can look at a lot of this cheap gear on your local airsoft field, and those guys put their gear through more trouble than a lot of these Instagram operators ever will. So it's got a good thumbs up for me. It's held up good. The stitching is good, and it's cheap, and it works. So what more can you ask for? So camouflage. Why is camouflage important? Well, we'll get into that, but right off the rip, a hat like this, a boonie hat, is good to have. If you live in a hot, sunny place, something like this can definitely make it suck less. But there's that. This is a regular ACH helmet. It's good for head protection. If you ever happen upon an incident or a peaceful protest, like in the Summer of Love, where the peaceful protesters were burning down low-income communities, having some means to protect your head might be not such a bad thing to have, because they attack with bricks, sticks, rocks, and some of them are armed. So keeping your head covered is a good thing if you have to go through something like that and you can't just nope out of there. But let's talk about camouflage. It is your greatest ally and your biggest hindrance. Because when you put stuff like this on, the plate carrier, the helmet, the hats, all this kind of color, you stand out like a sore thumb. You just do. This is really easy to spot, really easy to look at, but that also can help you. If you are close to your family and friends that are maybe sadly caught up in the mix, having a means to identify each other, whether it be with an OCP pattern or AOR1 or MARPAT or whatever, it makes it really easy. Maybe comms are down, you guys didn't charge your batteries, you don't have your cell phones, or you can't use them appropriately or whatever reason. Operating by line of sight works too. And these, for example, this is a combat pants I was issued. These ones have the knee pad insert for the regular cry style knee pads. This is they're a good piece of kit. They're tough. They don't tear easy. They breathe well. So you live somewhere hot, it's good. If you live somewhere cool, well, you have snivel gear for a reason. And also, keep in mind with snivel gear, if you start moving around and running and doing the operator thing, staying out of trouble, may I mind you, you get hot. So you'll get warm pretty quick. But stuff like this is good to have. Like I said, it's good for ID. And it has practical features too. Something like this protects your head. Something like this protects you from the sun. And so all there is to that. Wear it with caution. Something I forgot to mention too. Folded up under this stuff is an IR patch, so you'll shine like a sore thumb under IR illumination, which also can be a good thing. But if you don't need it or don't want that feature, you can just cover it up and be done with it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It's a real surface level look. Later on, we might dive deeper into how to use some of the stuff like the medical gear and your rifle setup and all that. We can talk about that later, but now it's a real surface level thing. So, take it however you want, drop a comment, whatever. Go forth, do great things, stay out of trouble. Deuces.